try and get YouTube back up and running again. Ah, thank you, Haley. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Let's see if we can get YouTube up again. Screen recording right and not having all clients as sources in OBS. Yeah, it's just one single screen capture. It's quite clearly got something to do with the fact my graphics card just gets overloaded and then it causes OBS to crash. It's doing it again. It's instantly doing it again. We're back in slideshow mode again. I was streaming in 4K, but it wasn't actually streaming in 4K, if that makes sense. But yeah, that could equally be. This is my point. I've tried to do too many things too frequently recently. Has it calmed the fuck down a little bit now? Hang on. I'm wondering, you know, if it was just having an absolute heart attack doing one too many things. Yeah, Chris, I totally get that. I totally get that. This was a trial run thing. If it ends up being something that's just an absolute no-go from a stream perspective, the reality is I'll just do it myself. Streaming in native resolution should be best as OBS doesn't have to scale it. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at right now. It keeps turning on and off, but it seems to be more stable now. Although YouTube is now complaining, flipping hell, I can't get can't get right with this. The reality is this might be something I choose to just do off stream, for, like you mentioned, pure goblin mode reasons. On Twitch, I'm getting a 4K source stream. Oh, you were? Oh, that's very... You won't anymore, because I've just changed that option. But if you were, that's very interesting. I requested a... I'd set things up so that it should actually be streaming in 4K. Oh, that could have... We're probably back in 1080p right now. This is my point. I've changed so much so frequently. I don't know what is the one thing that caused it to go crazy. Let's go kill Thwack quickly whilst things are still technically alive. Oh, Thwack's dead. I was too slow. Oh no, he's not dead. He's there. Yeah, Loot Fever, that's not a bad idea. It's not a terrible idea. The issues, I've been having these issues even whilst not streaming though, in that it just lags the shit out of my graphics card. Maybe we try that for now. question is going to be, which client is it? It's that one, isn't it? The issue is it also runs at a different resolution to what I stream in right now. And then we turn that one off. Yeah, I need to configure that. I need to make sure that the one client I use is actually the right resolution as well then. Oh, you got the weak aura working? Is there a way to click the rare that's up and get a TomTom arrow? I don't know if that's via the weak aura, no. But that is possible with others. I'm using Silver Dragon and I'm using Rare Scanner simultaneously. Who do I still need on this set? Tally. Tally's recently died as well. $11 delves on a mage. See, now I'd watch that. If I tried to do 11s on my mage, that could be quite interesting. Possible. My mage isn't actually that badly geared anymore. He's not tragically geared. In conclusion, I'm pretty sure I know what my OBS related issues are. The difficulty is it's one, hard to explain, and two, I can't really fix it whilst also live. So I might have to test that a little bit more later today. Might have to test that a little bit more. But I can do that off stream. Oh, hello. Is that the rare? No, that's somebody running past with all of the guff. This was from just now. Does this mean Twitch actually was allowing me to stream in 4K? If that's the case, I'm a 2160p source. That's very good to know. That's very cool to know. Running a single client, we could probably configure all of that. Thank you. Because that's what I want. But if I can stream to Twitch in 4K, then I can also use that same encode and send it straight to YouTube, and so we'll get 4K on both. Bandwidth is not a problem. Bandwidth's not an issue at all. But yeah, I kind of get the feedback on the whole multi-boxing side of things. I know it's a different style of play, but the reality is for me is it's not something I'd probably be doing all day long anyway. For the most part, this is just a way to increase. Oh, Grimewick's dead. To increase the effectiveness in a short period of time, before then doing other things. I thought I set this to 16 by 9 anyway. What resolution is this running at? 2551 by 1340. Can I just force that to be 1920? Why is 1920 by 1080 not even an option there? It's because we're in flipping windowed mode. Unfortunately, testing is something I mostly have to do live, so this is the problem. Since the other 4 accounts don't really have anything to do, you could just maybe put them on the second monitor. That's sort of true. That sort of maybe works. The thing is I'm already using all 3 of my monitors while I'm streaming. This is why I upgraded to a nice shiny 4K monitor, so I had more real estate. But yeah, that's possible. Right, I need another 4K monitor. There is just not enough pixels. There is just not enough pixels. Right, let's resize you guys. There is just not enough pixels. New big monitor still runs out of space. Let's see hear the wife's opinion on that. It's her birthday this week. I don't think I can buy another monitor for her birthday. I don't think that works, does it? That's clearly not gonna fly. It does mean my 4 other clients now look real icky, but they're also now running at super low resolution, which, to be fair, should probably help my graphics card issue. Let's put you over here. Yeah, not enough screen real estate. Right, where's this last damn rare? This is the point, right? I want to be able to sort of, I'd want to be able to wombo combo some stuff. See, it'd be nice if while I'm waiting for these rares, I can just go, oh, on this account we do some concentration crafting. Boom. I guess technically you guys don't really need to see all of the slave accounts running in the background. Ah, it gets me every time. That's the wrong rare. I bet your ass if I fly all my dudes over there. If I fly all my dudes over there, I can cast iron guarantee that it'll be dead before they all get there. Should we find out, shall we? Should we test that theory?
Dim lightin' and absolutely no airflow. Perfect day for a race.
I also have the slight problem that I'm not entirely sure I kill this dude solo. Although we do have friend. Friend might help. See if we can get Grimy Boy as well, if he's still up by the time this dude dies. Be a nice extra little bonus. See if Grimy's still up. No, he's dead. Dead. Too slow. Too slow. Right, who did I say we still needed? Tally. Right, let's fly them all back. Cost me over 4 gold to fly over there. Unbelievable. Price of flights these days. Shocking performance. The funny thing is the fourth monitor situation would definitely help, but I also have just realised I've only got, well, I realised this the other day when I was poking around on the back of my graphics card. I've only got 4 video outputs on the back of this new 5080. That's one thing I was so keen to just get a 5080 that I didn't look into too much detail about like the true ins and outs of exactly the individual specs of them. And yeah, I've got one that's got 4 video outputs, but some of them have 5, for example. Some of them have 2 HDMI outputs. Mine does not, though, because that TV is also connected. Or, well, it's not this very second, but is normally. Right, there we go. That's the 4 for these dudes. Load up the next crew. Load up the next crew. I need a logout macro as well. Does anybody know if there's a such thing as a logout macro? I'm sure there is. I want to just be able to go and keybind the ability to log out rather than having to press escape and then go click log out when the logout button is so goddamn close to the exit game button. I swear Blizzard did that deliberately. And I swear it catches people out as well. Nitro? Is it real? Is it real? No, he's dead. Cooked. Swigs is dead as well. Oh, that's interesting. You guys are getting 720p at 60 FPS, or you're getting 4K at 60 FPS. Twitch isn't encoding in 1080p. Odd. At least from what I can see. That's an interesting one. Hang on, while I'm waiting for these rares, there's a little thing called Twitch Inspector, which I use to track the... Oh, okay. Oh, it's doing 4K at 60 FPS, but it's doing it at 1080p bitrate. Okay, while I'm standing still, it's probably still going to look okay. But while I'm not standing still, it's going to go blocky as all hell. Because 6K bitrate's not even enough for 1080p in my opinion, never mind 4K. I like tech too much, this is my problem. I like tech too much. I genuinely contemplated the option of upgrading my second PC so that it's more capable to do the stream PC thing. But the positives far outweigh the negatives for me, I think, still, of having a separate stream PC. The positives of being able to let my gaming PC just completely raw and do whatever it needs to do is great, but when you're moving, it feels like the encoding can't keep up and the image gets pixelated. Yeah, that's entirely a bitrate thing. That'll entirely be a bitrate thing. On YouTube, your bitrate is unrestricted. You can stream at whatever the hell you like. On Twitch, though, they have some pretty solid rules. You can't, if you're... There is a way to get up to 10k bitrate on Twitch and stream in 4k, but you have to do something that I've not set up yet. If you... Yeah, 6k is pretty much the official line on as high as you can go, which is poor in even 1080p, to be honest. It's where Twitch is really behind. YouTube letting you upload in whatever you want is just god tier. Can fix my PC, it's giving fatal errors left and right, considering a reset, but I don't want to do all of that work. Honestly, once every 18 months to 2 years, you should probably do a full Windows reinstall anyway. The only reason I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, though. The reason I don't do it is because then having to, quite often you get, you know, it's far too much like hard work. It'll take an entire day. And for me, stability is really quite important. This right now is the most frustrating situation for me, as because, and this is partly why I have two PCs, is so that in theory, if one just breaks, I can instantly switch to the other, and it's like almost zero downtime. This is so frustrating right now when I can't get things set up to work the way that I want them to, and that I don't have that stability. More than a day, it's why I haven't bothered since I built it back in Legion. Yeah. Yeah, a full Windows refresh every couple of years is a smart move, but I get why people don't do it, because I myself even don't do it. Right, tally's the last one we need, apparently, by the looks of things. Check these accounts for goodies while we wait. You back up there. This PC was supposed to be my spare because the new one had hardware break, but then I got cleaning crew do a spring clean and then they threw the good one out. You hired us to clean and purge, so we did. Even though I made it very clear not to remove any PC stuff from my house. Oh my god. That in my eyes, that'd be a lawsuit waiting to happen. I'd be on that like a rash. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen in my eyes. Yeah, I would heavily be questioning the legitimacy of that as well. I wouldn't care what their company policy is on that. I'd be like, look, you owe me a PC, bitches. Broken or not broken. Can't prove they stole or trashed it. Sounds like stealing with just more steps. Proving they stole it isn't your job, it's the police's. I mean, I would, yeah, I'd be highly questioning the legitimacy of that. That sounds very sus. Throwing out a PC is not spring cleaning. More than anything, that should be, you know, if in doubt, ask situation. And they didn't do either. Have I just missed Tally? When was you alive 12 minutes ago? So Tally should be respawning. Should be respawning right now. Now, I'm a big fan of self-building your own PC. I've always done it, which is why I think it's just adult Lego and is not too difficult for me to do. But there is definitely some part of me, there's quite a strong part of me, now that I've been doing this content creation thing for a few years, there's a very strong part of me that's super tempted to just, once every 2 years, buy a mid-tier pre-built PC and replace the old one entirely, as it's probably long-term far less hassle well, I mean, the best thing would be to find a sponsor of some sort, but like that's not happening, I don't think. But you know, every 2 years replace the PC, pay for it monthly, kind of in the same sort of vein, right, as leasing a car sort of thing, you know. It's a easy to manage business expense then, because it's a tool that I use to do this, and I need to treat it as such. Garbage up at the wrong side of the planet. Yeah, this sat waiting for the rares. I need to be more constructive with my other characters while I do this. Can't wait for the Starforge PC logo on your stream. Jokes aside, they sponsor everyone. There's good money in it. There's good business in it, honestly. I can't imagine why they would ever sponsor somebody like me, though, because I don't live in America. I don't think they even ship outside the US these days yet, so it makes very little sense. Other than purely from a branding perspective. But the fact that you've already said that means that their branding works well enough because you already know who they are. Oh, they do ship out the US nowadays? Oh, okay, fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. I clicked a button I didn't mean to click. Right, let's go get the dumpster at the very least while we wait for this to spawn. Where is the dumpster? Is it the one by Sal? This is the thing. I know this multi-box approach is the more efficient way of doing this. Than just flying around on single characters. But at the same time, the flying around on single characters feels like playing the game. Whereas just camping a rare until it spawns and then killing it. Well, there's 2 nitros on the floor now. Doesn't feel anywhere near like actually playing the game, if you know what I mean. So there is part of me that will strongly contemplate whether I want to continue doing this. It's been a fun little experiment for a few days, seeing if it works, and I should probably stick it out a little bit more. But I can keep the accounts up and running. I can just run concentration professions on them to make them cost neutral. I don't know. It's almost one step above my pay grade, to be honest. One step above what I really want to be doing, just purely for the purpose of goal making. It's optimal, yes. Does it make more gold? Quite probably. When the market still allows for every Mechanica to be worth somewhere in the region of 100,000 gold, to be able to perceivably get your hands on more of them quicker is cool.
Let's make sweet,
but I'm still not convinced that it's something that's gameplay enough for me to actually be that interested doing it long term. Pulling all of this lot is also maybe not what I should have done. Loot Fever with the 4 months, thank you very much, by the way. That's also a good indication to me that I'm not even hearing my alerts. I've got so many problems right now. Oh my god. Literally 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Thank you very much for that. That's the weirdest way to thank a sub, isn't it? Oh, Swigs is literally up again. Okay, sure. But in a very scuffed hour, that's still 3 of my teams done. Even yeah, even in a very scuffed hour. Which, when I only have 6 teams, means that even when everything goes wrong, it shouldn't take me more than 2 hours to blast through all of this. But it is, moreover, something that I will probably designate to doing more in the background rather than in the foreground of on stream. Okay, gonna do a reset. Fingers crossed I'll be back in time. Best of luck. Best of luck. Resets are annoying, but boy oh boy, are they worth it once you do it. Right, all of those is an indication they're dead, not alive. Chai Black, welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Sweet, we've just missed Swigs. Tally's clearly not going to have been respawned yet. What about Nitro and Thwack? This is my god, there's 3 corpses for Nitro now. Oh god. Literally all 4 of the rares I need to kill are dead on the floor right now. Corpses. That's wild. Okay. What's the benefit for killing the rares? They drop Miscellaneous Mechanica, which is wildly valuable. Roughly, each Miscellaneous Mechanica is worth about 100,000 gold at current market rates. Whether you convert those into pets or you convert them into mounts, either way, you can net about 100k gold for each one you can get your hands on right now. So killing rares isn't the only way you can get them, but when you've got access to multiple accounts, it's the most efficient in the shortest period of time way to get them. And if I can spend an hour or 2 doing that a day, then go on and do other stuff. So what does the Mechanica look like? It looks like it's the exact same icon as this, but it's not. It's the exact same icon as that, though. The pets and the mounts you can buy with them are... Please hold. There's these pets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pets. They cost between 5 and 10 Miscellaneous Mechanica each. There's also 3 mounts, all of which can go on the auction house. Where are the mounts? These ones. The Asset Advocator, the Innovation Investigator, and Margin Manipulator. These have regional sale averages of give or take 2 million gold each right now. Based on TSM's data. Now TSM's data is a point of data, but it's not the most reliable point of data anymore. Or, well, hang on, no, that's a lie. It probably still is the most reliable data we have on this sort of stuff. The point is we just don't have enough data for any of it to be reliable. But it's now heavily pixelated when you move. Is this a me thing or is it a you thing? It's a me thing. I've had to quickly hack together something that just works for today. As I've had some tech issues. It will be fixed for next stream. As it's a setting that I can't change whilst I'm actually live. Annoyingly. We're streaming in higher resolution right now, but the bitrate has stayed the same, which is why it looks choppy and blocky when I move. We just need flipping WoW on console at this point, don't we? WoW on console would solve all of our issues. WoW on console, job done. Job done. While add-ons, I tend to think are far too prominent of a feature in this game for them to actually easily be able to move World of Warcraft onto console, I still think it is a very, very strong consideration these days. Even if there was like, even if you could have, I mean, with things like the cooldown manager coming in, you know, if Blizzard takes a few steps to get the default suite of 5 add-ons that, you know, the top 5 add-ons that everybody uses, if they can sort of get that integrated into the game properly, after 20 years, put a damage meter in the game, for example. I think if Blizzard could integrate like the top 5 add-ons, they're in a stronger position to then do a light console version of the game. But based upon the fact that they can't even get solid frame rates or optimize their client for PC, doesn't give me best confidence that they'd ever be able to get a console port very well. But we've had the controller support for a few years now. You know, with Microsoft at the helm, I feel it's only a matter of time. If they do truly, genuinely want to keep this franchise alive for the next 20 years, I think console has to be a big consideration. That said, the console market is in real trouble. Well, gaming in general is a fucking shit show right now. There's the complication being that the console gaming, even console gaming, is just getting too expensive for it to be a easy access hobby, which is crazy to think about, really. I remember paying, I think I remember paying £399 for my PlayStation 3 on launch day. I think it was $399. It could have been $379. I'm not even sure. But, I mean, and of course, that was 15 years ago. But the issue is nowadays is that inflation is kicked in. The cost of everything else has gone up massively, which unfortunately means that most people's disposable income for hobbies, even though consoles haven't really risen in price all that much over 15 years, the fact that everything else around us has made what used to be that, you know, that one purchase of a console per household for everybody to enjoy and have some play time on. You know, a couple of €100, a couple of £100. It was a reasonable investment back then, but it was manageable. People's disposable income is so squeezed these days, though. In Christ, PC gamers are in another league. Thank God we get our games cheap. Cooldown manager is the indicator for that. It'd be stupid not adding in the basic stuff like a damage meter. I think they're just testing the waters with it at this point. Yeah, I don't know what the scenario is with the damage meter thing. It seems so silly that they haven't added one personally. Since we even have like and have had for the longest time now, like real strong, significant indicators to this piece of gear is better and this piece of gear should do more for you. And we've had target dummies for practicing rotations and stuff literally in the game since day one. Yet they then don't give us any way to actually track or test these things without installing add-ons, which is so weird. Like, they seem to give you the tools to be able to determine what should or should not be a better piece of gear than what you currently have. Yet they then don't give you the one critical tool that could really solidify your results. I don't know. So maybe we are not that far away from seeing more integration of the default add-ons. I mean, the cooldown manager is clearly step one, but like some deadly boss mods style something for when you're running dungeons or raids, you know. Some simple in-game customizable alerts with shareable profiles. It like I said, Blizzard has this habit of not necessarily, you know, they basically create the at-home version of add-ons. And this is like what the cooldown manager is, right? It was obviously advertised as weak auras in game, but it's not actually really anything to like weak auras. But it's the at-home version, but it doesn't need to be as fully customizable as the add-on. If you want that level of customization, then you install the actual add-on that does it for you. But if you want to keep your add-ons to a minimum and you're happy with just simple basic functionality, there should be something in the game by default. So I think this cooldown manager is going to be quite good. Mr. GM did a video on it the other day actually that I need to watch. See if it's any good. See how we use it. Okay, I still need Swigs. Still need a Swigs kill. Swigs is currently lying on the floor, which is problematic. I bought a PS4 Pro, and the only place I could get it was Lewisham Argos. Had to walk down the high street with it in a see-through pin bag as they didn't have bags. Thought I was going to get mugged. Oh dear. PS4 Pro or PS5 Pro? Are you talking back in the days or are you talking recently? I have a PlayStation 5 Pro sat next to me that I've not taken out the box yet. I bought it to play GTA later in the year. The only reason I bought it now was because I got it on offer. I got €100 off the price, so I was like, sure. I was going to buy one later anyway. You know how I said GTA 6 is a game that's going to be so big it will sell hardware? Sucker here. Sucker here was not willing to wait for the PC launch of GTA 6. So I had to buy a console. Had to. Maybe they're afraid adding in stuff like that, because if they add in one thing, the community then wants more weak aura like replacements. At the end of the day, Blizzard needs to learn that the reality is what the player base wants, the player base will get, and you should give it to them. The player base of this game is their paying customers. If the paying customers are after something, it's Blizzard's obligation to provide it. Look at how reluctant they've been to implement things in the past, and then look how much of a raving success it's actually been once they, pulled their head out their own ass and did it. Classic being the absolute prime example. You think you do, but you don't, is like one of the biggest internet memes in this community now, simply on the basis of that, yes, people wanted Classic, yes, people were off playing private servers. Blizzard didn't think that people actually wanted it, and, well, I'm going to be brutally honest, I think Classic probably has a more reliable, consistent player base than Retail does these days. Retail is full of boomers like us. Retail is full of the people that has played since day one. Anybody that's relatively new to the franchise in the last couple of years is probably playing Classic, because Classic is a much more true RPG adventure. Retail is arcade mode, absolutely hardcore arcade mode now. But sunk cost fallacy is so strong with so many of Retail's players, which is why Retail maintains its core player base. The only thing I don't like about the cooldown tracker is that you can't choose what spells you want it to track. It's either all or nothing. Ooh, okay, yeah. See, this is the thing, right? They're never going to make it as customizable as what the add-ons will be. And if you want that level of customization, you're still going to have to replace it with an actual true add-on. But, you know, for your average brand new to the game player, this up here is just cancer. This is fucking useless. There's so much going on up here in your buff bar these days, and it's by default slammed right up in the corner of the screen, so you absolutely don't see it. And it's it's information overload. There's no way you can keep track of that by eye. Hey, Mechanica, we love to see it. There's no way you can track that by eye. And so the buff bar at the top isn't really even fit for purpose anymore, particularly. Hence why everybody almost instantly replaces it with an add-on. Right, that's this team done. 2 more teams to do. Log you out, log you out, log you out, log you out, and log you out. Does it track procs as well, or just cooldowns of spells? I'm not sure. This is my big question. I need to go and have a little look. I need to have a poke around. I've still not technically made it to the PTR for the new patch yet. Since I found out that heroic visions don't actually turn up for like another month after the patch launches, I'm like, well, we'll wait for those. Right, team number 5 of 6. Is that legitimately Tally and Thwack up? Can it be? Can it be? And a switch. What? What have I spawned into? Is this character on some different shard? I have noticed, you know, that Draenor's such a big server nowadays that even Draenor seems to have multiple shards. Whereas many other realms are small enough that they get merged with other realms on individual shards. So you'll see people running around with like different character names from different realms. I've started to notice that Draenor is so heavily populated that there's even different shards just for Draenor. Oh, I let my pet... Oh, Jesus, I need to... This isn't my main hunter, is it? I need to remember. This is Ranthius. He's only 6'16". He doesn't have gear. Welcome in, Lady Daisy. Good morning, by the way. Welcome, welcome. That's 2 out of 4 on this team, like, nearly instantly. If Thwack is still up, then this is, like... This is wombo combo optimization here. I don't think he is. Oh my god, he is. That's 1 to 2 to 3. We've hit a god tier shard. This is going to be the equivalent of 15 rare kills in like a minute. This is wild. Or if I don't let my pet die, that is. Killing rares so fast, my cooldowns aren't even up between rares. Go on, Nitro. Go on, Nitro. 4 for 4. 4 for 4. Oh my god, 4 for 4. God tier shard. This is going to be the quickest 20 rare kills. Bit of a sneak peek of how it'll be to kill the res and the Undermine once it's not current content. Yeah, you're right. This is potentially how it'll look in a couple of months when there's significantly less people playing. I have a problem right here. Let me at least kill Nitro, because if this dude keeps doing big shot business on me, I'm dead. Ow. You fuck off. Oh, of course we've pulled more. I've got 7 seconds until I can do any sort of healing. So used to having like 660 gear these days that it feels all sorts of wrong when I run around on a low level toon. Right, that was an entire team. Just bang, bang, strawberry jam. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Log you out. You know what I didn't even do? I didn't even check these guys' mailbox. That was so fast. Genuinely didn't even have time. Oh, this dude's got like a proper UI setup, so he doesn't have stuff in the right place. Bruto. It's a frustratingly low amount of stuff in there, though. I can already see a decline in the player base. I'm selling less and less stuff. Don't want to imagine how it'll be in a few months. Well, the drop off in the drop off in the second season is brutal. You kind of get used to how things work and operate in from an expansion launch, because an expansion launch the drop off is a lot more slow. There's a much longer tail to it. Yeah, season 2 people play it and then boom, they're gone out of here. The reality for me here is that these guys are not even particularly getting many Mechanicas. Look at the flipping Sharda on here. I mean, that's probably the case. We're doing basically 120 rare kills a day, which in theory should get me a couple of Mechanica a day. But the point being is that I can get that couple of Mechanica, in theory at least, pretty quickly. Relative to how long it takes to get them normally. Not all of these teams actually got kills yesterday, though, so I know I'm emptying mailboxes, but just because I want to empty mailboxes on a Monday is my plan of action, at least. There's not much this week because we only set it up on Friday. Right, last team then. Oh shit, who have I not invited? Right, we all in? 5 in. 5 in. See if we can get any form of lucky with the Tally's dead, Swigs is dead. Cheeky dumpster quickly. Yoink. Magno via group sync. Nitro is dead. Thwack is also going to be dead. This is the aftermath. Yeah, this is the aftermath of our 4 for 4 on our last team. We might have to wait a minute for some of these to spawn. That's fine. A Mechanica mount per week would feel kind of nice. You probably have enough characters at this point for that kind of pacing. Well, I mean, quick napkin maths, right? We got 5 teams. Sorry, no. There's 5 characters per team. We have 6 teams that I have set up. And we kill 4 rares a day. Minimum. Is 120 rares, and there's 7 days in a week. So that's 840 rare kills per week, which in a, let's say, average 2%, let's say we get unlucky and we have a 2%. Hang on, let me kill these and then I'll do maths. If we have a 2% drop rate on Mechanicas, 1% would be 8.4, 2% would be, let's say, 17. So yeah, divided by 100, multiplied by 2. So cautiously, we should be looking at like 17 Mechanicas a week via this approach. Now, at some point during the week, I will also kill a bunch of the weekly stuff with them. You know, like at some point during the week, we'll kill Scrap Chewer. At some point during the week, we'll kill Dark Fuge. At some point during the week, we'll kill Junk Wall. We'll occasionally get a garbage kill. You know, that's kind of like the bare minimum. So, yeah, it basically tails out to be a Mechanica mount per week, basically, by this route. And the point for me is if we can do this, if I can do this within like less than 2 hours a day, I can still, you know, just kind of semi-AFK it when not streaming, doing other things. It's a nice little side hustle that is an alternative to going out and farming herbs and ore without having to go out farming herbs and ore. I despise farming so much that it's this is a nice alternative, but let's not forget that it's taking me 5 accounts to achieve that. So, you know, 5 accounts need to be paid for. So if that's a Mechanica mount per week, they're selling for 2 mil, give or take 2 mil today. is the going price for those mounts. That's 8 mil per month. 8 mil per month for a couple of hours of effort, which, you know, comfortably pays for the accounts to do it, and some, really. And I'm still very much of the opinion that the value of these mounts is quite low right now because it's in the public eye and it's the current content. I think in 6 months' time, you won't sell as many mounts as quick, but you'll be able to get more for them and you can spread them out a little bit more. Price of the mounts are going to go to the floor. No, I don't. I think the exact opposite, honestly. The amount of time and effort that it takes to get 25 miscellaneous Mechanica. Lots of people have been playing this zone daily since the patch came out. That's why there's lots of people that maybe will have got to the 25 miscellaneous Mechanica, bought a mount and put it on the auction house. The reality is that when those mounts sell through, I cannot imagine there's that many people out there that will then get a second 25 Mechanica to do it again. You know, there's a... Weirdly, we're at the point where I think the stock of these is kind of quite high. Because it's flavour of the month, should we say. I only need Nitro, realistically. And then this last team is done. I think I might have just missed it. Although there is 2 corpses there already. Leading me to think that he might pop up again randomly quite soon. But yeah, if I can, you know, it's clear that doing this on stream is going to be slightly problematic. Ever so slightly problematic from a just purely computer hardware point of view. But if I can casually do this semi AFK in the background, it's all good. What are the prices on some of these mounts right now? I don't actually check this all that often. While we wait for Nitro to pop up. Asset Advocate is one of the mounts. There's only 67 of these mounts available across the EU. So that's still less than 1 per server. On some servers, the mounts are priced comparably to the crowd pummeler, but the difference is that the pummeler's profit is maybe 10 to 15%. The Mechanica mount gold goes all in your pocket. But it takes 0 time to make a crowd pummeler. It takes a huge amount of time to farm up 25. But I agree with you that the logic in pricing is that, well, if Mechanica mounts are about this sort of price, then pricing them in a similar ballpark means that you'll attract a similar amount of customers. But yeah, only 67 across the EU so far, and with a median price of 2.8 mil. So if we actually have a little bit of a look, we can see the supply or the quantity of these mounts is slowly going up now. Oh no, hang on, that's just Draenor. Yeah, the quantity of these mounts is slowly rising, but the price is also sort of plateau. Like, you know, the price seems to be almost bottoming out. Doesn't seem to matter too much how many more hit the market right now. The price hasn't really since, you know, there was obviously when there was only a handful of them available, they were going for silly money. But, like, I don't really think that most people will sell them for less than 2 mil based upon how difficult they are to get. But, you know, like I said, still not even 1 per server. until there's at least one per server, there's no reason to sell them overly cheap. And the fact that there's less than one per server, what we now like 5-6 weeks into the patch, kind of tells me that there is never really going to be a huge supply of these outside of dedicated people farming them. And there isn't going to be that many people that are dedicated to farming them, just because realistically doing it on a single account, doesn't matter how many alts you've got, single account farming rares is a grind. A hell of a grind. And it's a grind that I was more than happy to do while I still had plenty of other stuff I wanted to do in that zone. The reality is I don't have a lot of things to be doing in this zone anymore, short of checklists on alts. So realistically, the amount of people that will sort of like put a tick next to this zone and say, right, I've done that zone now, I'm happy, let's move on, let's do something else, will heavily reduce the amount of people killing rares, the amount of dumpsters that are being looted, the amount of Paragon boxes that are being opened. So I think it's relatively safe to say that the supply of these mounts isn't really going to get much more than what it is right now. I mean, that was just the asset advocator. What are some of the others? Like the what's it called? Investigator one. 89 of these across EU realms. This is the rocket one. This is the one that is more obvious for people to buy and try and sell because it's the most unique, most interesting style one. And we're seeing a similar thing going on. There's slightly more of them knocking about, but the price isn't really dipping that heavily. You know, still on average trying to be sold for over 2 mil, purely based upon the effort that it takes to get it. But once again, still not even one represented on every server yet. With them starting to cluster up, starting to see 2 or 3 of them popping up on the bigger realms. Silvermoon has 5 of them. Dentag, which is also linked with Taran Mill, has 4. Kazak's got 3. Argent Dawn's got 4. So we're starting to see a bit of competition on the top servers. But soon as this stays for too long, these players will just take their one and they'll move it to one of these realms where there isn't one listed at all, and they'll be posting it at like 4 or 5 mil. Is realistically what I expect to happen. But that is all my 6 teams done now. That's all 6 teams wombo comboed. So now I'm at the point where if I want to do any more rare farming for the day, I can obviously rotate back round and do some weekly stuff. Or what I'm more inclined to do is play the game a little bit properly now for a while. I could and I should probably look at setting up concentration professions on all of these alts. Is a good thing that would keep me busy, but I'm not sure if I want to be kept busy. I think I want to just double check, see what we need to do for the week, and then see where we stand. Mr. K-Chat, good morning, welcome in. With your setup, I don't think the pummeler is any faster to grind out, since it takes several hours of crafting to get one of them. Well, yeah, if you're going the actual pilfer route to try and maximize your margins, yeah, but if you just straight up buy all the mats off the auction house, your craft time is theoretically 0. There isn't much profit most of the time if you buy the mats off the auction house. You only see decent profits if you actually pilfer. I mean, a 5-box pilfering setup would be quite funny, wouldn't it? I'm sure that's also something that I will contemplate setting up by the end of the expansion. Right, I want to go kill the rest of the daily rares on my main dude, if nothing else. Did I check mailboxes on these dudes? I actually don't think I checked mailboxes on these characters before we logged them off for the day. Right, you get a log out. That's number 2. Check you. Why are you saying... Oh, you do have... Yeah, I need to quite clearly think of more ways I can utilize these other accounts as well, just to keep the juice flowing, basically. While it might be a little bit of a ball ache to set up, I do genuinely think that some concentration crafting professions on them might not go amiss. I'm just going to have to spend a few days leveling enchanting on an ungodly amount of characters if we want to go that route, but... Right, for now at least. I'll contemplate that later. For now at least. Oop, hang on. Right. Rat, Sal, Scrap, Vivi, Candy. Let's go down south. Why am I so zoomed in?
Overflowing barrels of slime are all over the vat works. Empty them and let the slime run back into the river and complete the slime cycle.
The cycle of slime. We can hop to get these last rares. Just need Candy now.
Go deliver some newspapers, why don't you? This propaganda's not gonna spread itself. Go deliver some newspapers, why don't you?
Ragnaros. Try you.
This propaganda's not gonna spread itself. Go
Nope.
deliver some newspapers, why don't you? This propaganda's not gonna spread itself.
Oh, this propaganda message is going to drive me bonkers. Can I stand this side and have it not shout at me every time? Taran Mill. Not tried there. Too big of a server to have rares up though, surely. Yeah. Sanguino. Clearly a nice amount of people killing the world boss before the end of the week. Giving us good good realm hopping. Bingo. Grime Rat, Sal and Scrapbeak. Let's check Scrapbeak. So few people come over this end of the world. I often find Scrapbeak just lurking.
Machinery's going berserk again. Help us get it back in line.
Can I stand just outside the range of this world quest?
Machinery's going berserk again. Help us get it back in line.
I think that's the group I was just in. I cursed it. Absolute kiss of death. Oh, there's plenty of groups up today. Absolute kiss of death. Alright, well, we'll hop between the two, just in case it spawns. That's not going to be an auto-invite group, is it? No. Somebody else waiting. Emerald Dream. Never lucky. That didn't even look like it merged me. Are they on the same shard? They must be. I wish it was easier in game to figure out like what shard you're on. There must be some like tracking or number or identifier or something. There's got to be somebody that's smart or weak or us that can figure that out. Where's Loot Fever when I need him? Just a little summon up in the corner that says, you know, a realm ID or something. There's got to be some identifier for which shard you're on. There are shard weakerers. Any links? I'm so lazy with this sort of stuff. I could just Google it. Yeah, this isn't even merging, is it?
berserk again. Help us get it back in line.
It's stuck us on a single shard. Oh, hang on, that's a new one. Oh, what? Pigeon Boy dead. So close. There we go. There we go. I've actually figured out that, you know, by the law of averages, whilst realm hopping to find these rares is a fraction bit quicker than just standing and waiting for it to spawn on your realm. The point is that it is only a fraction bit quicker. I've by the time that you know, you'll stumble across some when doing realm hopping quite quickly, but others you are basically waiting just as long as it would be to just chill and to just literally chill and wait for it to spawn on your own shard anyway. The respawn time seems to be pretty easy to go by. Realistically, no more than 10 minutes on most of the rares I've found. Is that a Volt Strike actually? Oh, well, I've killed Volt Strike. Weirdly, some of the times I've actually spent too long trying to realm hop and then missed the spawn on my home realm, which is stupid. I didn't push my chat lists either, did I, this week? That's what I didn't do. I got distracted by all this Mechanica farming. Heavily distracted. Maybe do a little bit of that in a minute. Try this place again. Phasing but no spawn. At least one thing I do like is that it's relatively chill, this. Once you've got it all up and running and you know what you're doing, it's pretty straightforward, pretty chill. Far more chill, as far as I'm concerned, than like herbing and mining. Now I know that probably doesn't sit well with some people, but I find traditional farming so outrageously annoying. that you are like, I find you are just like hardcore locked in when you're herbing and mining. I don't know why. I feel like I should tame, what's his name? Grimewick. I think he's a cool hunter pet. The problem is like every time I see him, I want to kill him. His loot is worth more to me than his appearance as a hunter pet. At least for whilst Mechanicas are spenny. Sold 4 more pets over the weekend. Selling them almost as fast as I'm farming them at the moment, week to week. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive that the pets are like flying. I've always noticed this, that pets are, when there are new pets, there must just be a much wider audience for people that collects all the pets. Now, I've always thought that the big collector thing is mounts, but maybe that's just like your hardcore sweaty goblins who have played for years and years and years that collect the mounts. I reckon there's a lot more of your, what do they refer to, like mid-core players that are willing to drop some serious cheddar on the pets. Especially selling them at 700k a pop. I thought maybe I'd sell maybe 2 a week, but this is crazy. I mean, it goes to show, doesn't it? You can't necessarily guess what's going to happen. I think we were both of the opinion. Now, this might still happen, but I think we both came to the conclusion that the pets would probably end up being much cheaper because people would start trying to farm Mechanica, realise how goddamn annoying it is, and then cash out their 5 or 6 or 7 Mechanicas that they'd bothered to get on a pet. And then just sell it for as much as they could get for it, sort of thing, which would push the price of the pets down. But clearly, that level of thinking wasn't necessarily true. Or at least it's not true right now. If you're firing through 700k pets, which is, what's that, 125 per Mechanica average? Oh, well, it's probably closer to 100k per Mechanica, isn't it, by the time the auction house has had its cut. And the fact that not all of the pets are 5 Mechanicas each. But even still, you know, that's the fact that they fly off the shelves, or seem to be flying off the shelves. It'll be interesting to see if Team NA plays the same way as Team EU in that regard. Ah, Rats is dead. Rats is here but not here. Rats is dead. Well, can we check Sal real quick? It's the last one I need for today. I'm only selling the 5 mech pets, so it's 133 after auction house cut. Oh, okay. It's not bad, is it really? It's not bad at all. Oh, and Rats is apparently up on my home realm. Grab a dumpster real quick. Oh, hang on. There was a dude running from here. Does this mean he's dead again? Flippin' hell. Snooze you lose. I went for the dumpster. I should have gone for the rats. Oh. Well, that's an easy solution. Yoink. Right, Sal. Last one to go. Oh, he might be up as well. Beautiful. I mean, with the pets, if you're able to shift them, if you're able to get them to move at 700k, and at 5 Mechanica a piece, you could, in theory, I can't quite remember your exact numbers for how many you're getting with all of your teams and stuff, but I would imagine like a pet, 5 Mechanica a day is got to be quite possible. So a pet per day, 700k days. Pretty mad. That's 2 tokens. Well, on Team NA prices, that's what, nearly 3 tokens a day for however long it takes you to do it, which is quite impressive. Just with the pets before you even take into consideration the anything else. Right, I should probably farm up as much of this as possible. 1, 2, 3 world quests maybe that are going to give me a little bit of rep. Then we should maybe do some checklists possibly, or before I do any of that, back to the absolute basics of definitely making sure that I do my patron orders. $40 to $45 a week times 5 or divide by 5, 8 or 9 pets a week, giving you the ability to sell 1 or so a day. Achievable. Good numbers. Real spicy numbers. Wait, hang on. Why is this week aura still showing? There we go. Made about 250k this week just doing some concentration stuff and playing the delves. I mean, that's good going by itself. That's not bad at all. My my gold total this week is in a definite negative, but upgrading 3 accounts to the War Within and adding 3 additional months of game time definitely slammed my gold total a little bit this week. But this is why I think that setting up some concentration on those alts, if nothing else, is probably also worth doing. Why is it always big gold on the stuff I don't have the materials for? And why do I not have these materials, more importantly? Oh, it's crushed gemstones. I can't believe I'm out of crushed gemstones, to be honest. Oh, shit. That wasn't the button I meant to press. Balls. Still sat on 200 augment runes. Just need to hit the sweet spot to sell. Didn't they go above 2k not so long ago, a few days ago, a week ago? Surely at that point you want to purge them, right? Surely. Can't be greedier than that. I don't know what they are right now. They're still nearly 2k a piece right now. I reckon you could get 2k a pop for them. Which is more than worthwhile selling them at that rate, I'd say. Even if you bought them at like 1500k last patch, that's still profitable enough to just take it and run, I'd say. I haven't spoke to Woo in a few days. I should speak to, unless he's lurking, of course. I should see if Woo's had any more success selling his, or whether he cashed out already. Oh, that's that tree full. Okay, nice. So I'm just capping end nodes on these now. Every time I get 20 points, I'll just fill one until we finish the tree. Leatherworking. I'm in the same position. I'm just filling end caps now. Core stuff is all done. Both leather and mail. Can craft anything we want with a bit of concentration at max rank now. Other than maybe, is there anything that's unlocked by this? No, I'm at the point where I can use all finishing reagents, everything. It's just every time we get 20 points, we fill an end node until they're eventually all done. Nice.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummels, like you. Farewell, friend of the Grummels.
I too probably have quite a few of these now I should do something with. 20 or so of these augment runes. Why does my TSM not automatically send them to my bank alt? It should do. That's probably because I don't use TSM mailing as often as I should either. Let's clear the bags. Let me do some patron orders on alts. All my graphic settings are on 3, and I still struggle to get over 100 FPS in flipping the capital city. This game is so poorly optimized.
Return and peruse my inventory again.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if it's a double coffee day today, you know. It is Monday after all. I don't know if double coffee will... A double coffee day is risky. Leads to afternoon headache. Sometimes it's a necessary evil. Is Magno actually up? If Magno's up, I will go kill it. Oh, progress is being made. Is the bitrate at 1? Yeah, I apologise. There's some slight funky dunkiness with the stream today. The bitrate is not at 1, but it is at its normal value, other than the problem is that it's streaming to Twitch in 4K. So, you know, same bitrate, 4 times the resolution, it does not look pretty. That was a bit of an accident that I can't fix until I restart the stream. I mean, I could test and do it very quickly. No, but it screws up YouTube as well. But yes, it's a my end thing. I know exactly why it's doing it. Oh, is that Sal actually up? Oh no, this is Magno. Yeah, the bitrate is definitely lower than it should be. Which, unfortunately, will make the combat look absolutely gross as well. Oh, garbage kill as well. Can we get there fast enough? Sometimes it's really hard to leave this zone, because every time I try and leave the zone, a rare spawns. Oh, he's miles away. There ain't no chance I'm going to get there. There is no chance I'm going to get there in time.
We don't got real plants here in Undermine, but
Ain't
we
got enough
the next
boost.
best thing. Fix them up so they shine nice and bright.
Yeah, people are running away from it. That's an indication he's dead. I tried. Right, blacksmithing. Couple that are worth doing. 4, in fact, maybe 5 even. Since I'm about 1 billion years behind on blacksmithing, I'll throw a bit of gold at the problem to get some more of these patron orders done, if they give knowledge points. I'm not doing the 1,000 gold plus ones though. I'm not that desperate. Even I have my limits. Not that I need knowledge points from enchanting, but if the work orders are good, yeah, 1. 30 artisan security. I'm sure I can use that for something. I still technically need to make another blacksmithing tool, I think, so that's 300. Yeah. Oh my god. Shit, I need to do something with all of this. Okay, we'll do it this way. We'll just throw it all back on the auction house for 1 spin, and then it's next month's problem again. No. Whoa. Hang on. What's going on here? Not flipping car parts. Right, that's next month's problem then. Did I cap enchanting? I think I did actually, didn't I? Is enchanting max now?
My directive is to serve you.
Blacksmithing, we still got a mile of stuff to do. Learn to use finishing reagents to add additional effects when crafted blading weapons. That's not as important. That's not as important because finishing reagents doesn't mean you can or cannot fill an order. But then again, it's only 5 points. It seems silly to leave it so close but so far. Then we need 25, 50. Wow, we need 100 points still to cap this. And that's before I even look at this tree. Oh my god, I'm so far behind on blacksmithing. Okay. But enchanting... Oh no, hang on. We need 8 more points and then enchanting's tickety-boo. Okay, well that means next week, or by Wednesday, enchanting is finished. That's fun. That will also mean it's possible to 0 to 100% enchanting, like, in one go. That's mental. That's wild. I wonder what they'll do, like, because obviously the catch-up system now is, like, massively imbalanced. The fact that enchanting can go from 0 to 100 in one go if you just, you know, throw gold at the problem. Compared to everything else, which is 21 points maximum a week. It's like the light years different. I wonder if when we go into midnight, they will change the rules again. Or reconsider their options at the very least. To make it a touch fairer. Arguably, enchanting catch-up is too OP, and that should be pegged back a bit. Having that pegged back a bit would make the others feel not so gross. Alternatively, they should just try and do something similar with the other professions as to maybe the patron orders. You should... If you complete one, another one turns up. You know, they could still keep the system the same, but instead of just giving you up to 3 per day, they could basically make it so that every time you complete one, it refreshes. They refresh every day, so you still only see 3 at a time, but they refresh every day. And so then you could, in theory, if you wanted to, throw gold at the problem. Whereas when you complete one, another one turns up. But obviously it's still RNG to whether it's going to cost you a lot or make you a little bit of gold or whatever. I think that generally would be a more positive catch-up system. Yeah, I'd be pretty gobsmacked if they didn't change it, to be honest. The fact that you've got enchanting up here that's just like god tier for catch up, and then everything else just is terrible in comparison. Hey, look, somebody's got the gold one. I should probably go get that, to be honest. Right, who is this? Inscription and tailoring. Scribbly, 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 tailory, tailory. Oh, I haven't even got my weekly quests on this, dude. My god, big slack. Big slack.
You wish to speak? Winds be at your back.
Speaking of OP, I wonder if they put in the effort to code the Midnight Profession tool stats to not also work backwards, back all the way. Yeah, can you imagine what you'd be able to do with Midnight tools? That said, I think we are getting to the point where there's a strong possibility that we're going to have a stat squish in Midnight, which will screw everything up anyway. I think our item levels are getting so over the top again that there's a strong chance we'll see a stat squish for Midnight. And if they do a stat squish for Midnight, that will also probably affect all of the profession stuff as well. So that could also be ludicrously wild. It could be that you want to, like, you know, it could be that you craft a bunch of shit with your current profession tools before they nuke everything into the ground. I don't know what the situation would be there, but I think we're due a stat squish because numbers are getting silly again. Flipping hell, how's that so lucrative? That's because it's an augment rune, okay. I strongly think they'll keep the system as a whole, though, just with various balancing tweaks, trees and patron orders and stuff. I expect to work very similar. Yeah, I don't think they're going to change. They're not going to rewrite the rulebook, that's for sure. Much like this expansion, to be honest. I think that, you know, it's just tweaks and tuning will be the name of the game, particularly. It's somewhat dependent a little bit as well on if there's a new profession. I think we're more likely to see a new profession because of player housing. They could crowbar in a lot of player housing stuff into the current professions, but I also think it'd be high time for there just to be a new profession. A woodworking / carpentry / furniture making something, maybe, possibly. It just feels like the right time, you know? Unless they get player housing in and then, you know, see how that goes and then maybe add a new profession. I don't know. You'd probably want the new profession to turn up at a very similar time as player housing, because then it's all, you know, the right time, I think, maybe. I don't know. Oh, they're big stinky. At least we don't need to do many of these unless we really want to. Okay, that's all them we're doing. These are requiring far too many materials for my liking. I've got the same problem again here. I've got too much random trash in my bags. Just little bits and pieces I've crafted that I'm mostly tempted to just put all in the bin. Yeah, we are in problem territory for getting like super high multicraft resourcefulness numbers if they don't squish things. Yeah, 100% resourcefulness would probably break things quite a lot. Obviously, that would still only mean that you get, like, because 100% resourcefulness doesn't mean that every craft is free. It means that, you know, you're still, when resourceful, that's your proc chance. When it procs, it still only gives you an average of the 30% of your materials back, but it's still broken, yeah. Agreed. Pilfering transmute. Well, yeah. This is why getting a fully pilfering setup engineer and getting a good understanding of some of the numbers. Secondly, having an alchemist for transmutagen setup, thaumaturgy, sorry. Well worth doing before the expansion's out. Just because when people's focus turns away from it, is actually when a huge amount of profit might come back into the system as a whole.
Good fortune to our friends.
We can check thaumaturgy right now, actually. Prices generally are in decline, so I'm of the opinion that even going anywhere near thaumaturgy right now is kind of hella risky. What you want to be doing with thaumaturgy is playing with it a lot when the prices of materials pre-expansion are like slowly rising with all of the speculative purchase. That's when you can spend big bucks on thaumaturgy, let it process for a few hours, then sell everything the next day and almost guarantee yourself profit. Right now, when all the materials are in decline, there's not enough margin in thaumaturgy for it to be worth the risk, because you could buy 1 million gold worth of stuff today, spend all of the time processing it, expecting to get an 8 to 10% margin return, but then you come back tomorrow and all the prices are down 5%, which means after your auction house cut, you've actually made a loss. Much riskier right now. Let's do engineering first, because it's the most frustrating to do. Oh, I haven't picked up weekly quests. Big slacking. Big slacking. Tinkering with all this multi-boxing setup over the last few days has distracted me from the main goal.
I've been expecting you.
Do I also have a mailbox full of trash? No, good. Wow. They're all really gross. Plans for Easter? That's a good question, actually. It's my wife's birthday this week. Plus, yes, Easter is right around the corner. Now, I know Easter brings with it, for most normal people, Easter brings with it bonus days off. I'm probably keeping a normal schedule over Easter. The only day that's slightly in question is a week today, Easter Monday. There may not be a stream this time next week, but the schedule shouldn't really change much outside of that. We're not doing much for Easter. We're going to the in-laws to visit, say hi, have dinner sort of thing, but nothing grandioso. I'm quite keen because I actually think the weather's going to be really nice to, you know, open the garden for spring, if you know what I mean. This weekend, I think. Got the barbecue out yesterday. So we can get into the swing of things with that. But generally for Easter, not too much. Do I want to do these? Artisan security only? No. 1 knowledge point. Artisan security. We'll do that one because it's a knowledge point. It's a cheap knowledge point. This is a good opportunity, actually. Should we just check to see if the Thaumaturgy does have any value today? Browse, shopping scan. I'm not expecting there to be much, nor do I really want to sit here AFK crafting Thaumaturgy stuff, but we'll see. There's a few things below 100, but in any quantity, not really. If you want any quantity, it is not really profitable. Blessing Blossom is also, by the time you buy it in any quantity, very borderline. Gloom Chitin, not really. See, this is the situation now. You could squeeze some money out of Blessing Blossom, I think. Quality 2, probably. There's anything up to 680 with Blessing Blossom. Any of that lot. There's about 60k worth of Blessing Blossom. 400k buy-in. You'd probably get 450 out of it by the time you processed it all. 50k in that, I would guesstimate right now. Obviously, assumption being you've got BIS build and can do stuff with it. Not worth me spending a few hours doing it though. Do you have any traditional Easter meal? Lamb, roast lamb is what we tend to, shoulder of lamb or leg of lamb or something. Loads of veggies, horseradish, sweet buns. Yeah, similar-ish. We swap out the ham for lamb. Some nice sort of coffee gravy or something. I don't know if it's traditional or it's just our tradition, should I say.
How may I aid you? May the
It's traditional for us, but I'm not entirely sure if it's like totally traditional. Go get the books.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
Alchemy, engineering.
My directive has been fulfilled.
Just noticed my flipping war bank is full again. It's getting harder and harder to keep space in the war bank.
I have calibrated my prices to be
Meaning
reasonable.
there may very soon come a time where I might have to just bite the bullet and buy the big flipping, buy the big 2.5 mil one. It might have to happen. What I can probably do is go and disenchant a bunch of those 610s, get those out of the way. Right, Mr. Enchanter do enchant things. Is there a birdie standing on the... Oh, there was a tweet up here. I didn't realise there's little birds flying around. Either that or I dreamt it. Can I have some frames, please, game? Would love some frames. There we go.
My directive is to serve you.
Right, let's get all this 610 stuff disenchanted. This doesn't need to be in here. Basically no use for any of this, really. Certainly not for keeping it in the war bank anyway. The 626s, the 642s won't keep knocking about, but that's like half a bank tab in the war bank just freed up instantly. Is it Easter already? It is. It's around the corner. Any thoughts on the new Blizzard changes of gold trading between realms and clients? Does this also ban buying gold from third-party websites? I know it was already bannable, but this would make it more strict and Blizzard take more action. Yeah, my thoughts on this gold situation that turned up on Friday. It got the World of Warcraft creator Discord in a bit of a tizzy. And it's mostly because, in true Blizzard fashion, they did a really poor job of wording it to begin with. They have since amended it, so the language used is a little bit clearer. We'll have a little bit of a look at that in a second. Let me burn through these just quickly. Because I have probably two opinions on it. I should probably just vendor these actually looking at it, especially the weapons. There's an average 75 gold vendor price in all these 610s. Probably worth more to me in just raw gold than it is in the materials, but... Disenchant maybe if I'm trying to get weekly knowledge, but not so much with enchanting anymore. Oh well, you live and you learn.
I have an extended supply of goods for Outlanders.
Yeah, so to look at this real quick in a touch of detail. So the other day, why am I getting ads on Wowhead? What the Christ is going on? Why am I getting ads on Wowhead? I've had Wowhead Premium forever. Wait, what? Why do I not have Wowhead Premium? Oh! Wait, what? They've changed it all. What the hell? Huh. $2 a month, $5 a month for the Epic plan, or $100 a year if you pay yearly. Oh my god. Wowhead's upped the price of their premium. It used to be like $9 a year. Huh. Okay. So they've over doubled the price, added an Epic tier, and then given you the reason to pay for it yearly. Oh, Wowhead, I don't know if I can... I don't know if I want to give you all that money anymore, Wowhead. You pissed me off with your clickbait. But I do use your website a lot. That's annoying. $250 profiler characters, over 100 profiler characters. Epic site flare, Epic Discord flare, priority support Epic. Wow, that's really poor upsell to the Epic. Really poor upsell. Or $100 a year. Exclusive legendary gift changes every year. A pin. We'll ship your pin to just about anywhere free of charge. Before your yearly plan expires, each year will create something new for you to receive upon your renewal. Pins made of zinc alloy is UV printed and measures 4 inches by 1.5 inches. Huh. Okay. I don't know if I want to give Wowhead $24 a year when I was quite used to giving them like $9 a year. Oh, you can still get the rare 1 year plan for $9 a year. Oh, I might just resubscribe with that one then. This is not worth anything. This is not worth anything. Why would I want to spend 90 additional euros to get a pin? That's that's quite the upsell, isn't it? That's quite the upsell. $90 for a Wowhead pin. No, thank you. No, thanks. Okay, well, we'll figure that out in a minute. That was a slight squirrel. Ad blockers are your friend in such circumstances. Well, fundamentally, a website that I use frequently on stream is something I would often happily pay for and do often choose to pay for. But until I resubscribe, because they must have cancelled my renewal in order to try and make me resubscribe and try and upsell me, which is doubly gross. Anyway, what I was basically trying to get to was this. So there was a new policy update that came out a couple of days ago, which kind of caused a bit of chaos because the language used in it was really poor. Really poor. But in essence, gold swapping is now against the TOS with new policy changes. This is a slight change from the fact that it used to just be unsupported, basically meaning that, well, I suppose, let's actually read what the post was. So, where was the actual change? Right. Oh, this is what it now reads. So this is, for the most part, this is basically when players are switching gold from classic to retail and vice versa, which was something that before was kind of unsupported. So the definition of this really is that Blizzard didn't make it a bannable offense, but because you predominantly have to do it through third-party discords and stuff, there was a high chance for just straight up getting scammed. Blizzard would want you to report to them when a scam has occurred, and they did also state that they would, in circumstances of scams, try and take action on the scamming account, but they would not go as far as reimbursing any of your losses or anything along those lines. So that's why it was kind of an unsupported thing. It's now been changed to straight up prohibited. They're just basically saying, no, you're not allowed to do it. Now this, for me, is an interesting standpoint by Blizzard. Taking it from being something that's unsupported, meaning Blizzard turning around and saying, well, we know there's a bit of a black market here on people transferring or trading gold between retail and classic. And if you get scammed by somebody, let us know and we will take action on the scamming account. But it basically meant that they could take a relatively hands-off approach to it. But clearly, there was lots of scams going on. And there was clearly enough tickets going through to them now to decide that they're just going to straight up say, no, this is not an action that we allow. Meaning you are now no longer allowed to transfer gold from retail to classic or vice versa. All it does is push the entire market more underground, though. Meaning it's not that the service will cease to exist. You can still probably go look around and you'll still find players willing to trade gold from classic to retail and vice versa. But it is now considered a ban or an actionable offence to do it. So it pushes the whole market underground, and Blizzard basically will have absolutely nothing to do with it. Clearly and very obviously to me, being that there was way too much support going into this sort of scenario. So they said, right, well, we'll just prohibit it, full stop. We don't want to know, basically. I think it's more about losing profit to the shady dealers than anything else. Well, they win both ways. They win both ways by having it classed as prohibited. If it's an actionable offence, nobody's going to report that they get scammed. If you get scammed, you get scammed. You're on your own. Illegitimizing it, pushing it underground, means that too many players that would have converted gold from retail to classic and vice versa now might look at this and go, well, I guess I need to buy tokens then, which, lines Blizzard's pocket. But secondly, it also instantly, overnight, removes all of the support tickets and minimises the amount of customer service they actually have to deal with. So as far as Blizzard are concerned, it's a win-win. You're on your own now if you go and try and do this. Blizzard's support article has been updated with clearer language, specifically stating that trading gold across realms or factions is prohibited in WoW Classic. Now, this is obviously something to point out, that with the warbands in retail, this is what people got their knickers in a twist about, that everybody was like, whoa, warbands allows you to transfer gold and items between realms. That's not the case. It's more the article is focused on Classic, but they're highlighting the fact that if you trade with another person gold in Classic to gold on retail, that's now prohibited. And there's been some clarifications by the looks of things as well on this. Replied on the official forums with some replies to the topic. The main getaway from this is that if it's supported by in-game means, e.g. direct trade window between characters, it's absolutely okay. Swaps are now prohibited. I don't necessarily know how Blizzard polices this, though. This is the silly thing for me. I don't know how they police this, but I guess it's the same scenario as I don't really know how they police people buying and selling gold in the first place on the black market. Because if account A whispers account B, invites, and then directly trades gold from one to the other, that is in-game trade window transaction, right? But that's, you know, the black market of RMT and gold selling has quite often used the auction house anyway to hide and launder the black market gold. So I don't necessarily know. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't know how Blizzard goes about policing this. I genuinely don't know how Blizzard goes about policing it. And more to highlight the truth, I think this is a way so that Blizzard just doesn't have to police it. You know, like I said, I think taking it from being an unsupported activity to a prohibited one basically is saying that we don't want anything to do with it. And yes, technically, Blizzard should police it now by making it prohibited. But the reality is I don't think they will. Yeah, those stacks of wool for 200k gold is you know, all those grey items you see listed on the auction house for like very specific high value amounts is basically advertised RMT via the auction house, which is, it's been going on for years. So yeah, I have no idea how they're going to go about policing this, but you transferring gold via your warbank within one version of the client is absolutely fine. You can still go and do everything you want to do. It's purely that transferring from retail to classic or vice versa that is prohibited. And additionally, for the purpose of classic, where classic does not have a warband, trading gold between realms is not allowed anymore. They are basically stating that each server on classic is still its own individual micro economy, and trading between them is prohibited. How they go about policing this, I have no idea, but and to answer a question previously in chat, any form of buying gold from a third-party website is a bannable offence, full stop, and has been basically forever. Hence why the token exists in the first place, right? The token is predominantly there because Blizzard knows that you can never kill a black market, right? A black market will always exist. When there is value for something, a black market will always exist for it. You are never going to 100% get rid of RMT. You're never going to 100% get rid of like gold sellers. But what you can do, what Blizzard has chosen to do, is push it as underground as they can, whilst offering a legitimate way in-game for you to do it, e.g. the token. You can take $20 at your back pocket, give it to Blizzard, and they'll give you a token, which you then take to the auction house and sell, and another player buys that off you, and the gold, and you get your gold. They made a legitimate version with the token to heavily de-incentivize RMT, gold buying, and gold selling. So Blizzard is like, well, we can't kill it, but we want our slice of the pie. How they go about policing this, though, I've got no idea. Can I trade gold with another player between WoW Classic and Modern? Can I trade gold with a friend on another WoW Classic realm? Make a deal with another player to exchange gold between factions on WoW Classic, but he didn't hold up his end. I'm trying to trade gold with another faction on WoW Classic. These are common questions that go through Blizzard's customer support. They have now stated that trading gold across WoW realms or factions or different versions of WoW Modern to Classic is prohibited. Involvement in a trade of this nature can result in account penalties up to and including account closure. So yeah, in essence, don't do it. If I understand it right, most gold sellers and botters have switched to Classic, and especially Season of Discovery. Well, follow the money, right? If in doubt, follow the money. And I've said this a few times quite recently. Retail has very little bot problems right now. Retail, you know, that's not to say they don't exist, but there's very few bots on retail right now. Why? Because all the money's in Classic. If you get given the choice to go bot on Classic or go bot on retail, you go bot on Classic because that's where the money can be made. because there's no warband. There's not the legitimate alternatives on retail, on Classic, sorry, like there are on retail. And so, yeah, this is why Classic's got a huge botting problem, because that's also where the money's at. Yeah, the bots just go where the money's at. That's what they're doing. They couldn't care less. They go where the money is. They'll just police it the same way they police RMT. They either don't, or they only care that a character got or gave away gold for nothing. They don't need to detect the transaction itself. I don't know. I have no idea how they're going to police it. I don't know. But, yeah. It's kind of a scary thought given the price of some materials. Even if they're this low without the bots. How low would they go with bots? Well, that's the thing, right? Materials are so low in value naturally, relative. So, I mean, look at what the going rate for herbing and mining has been, or was up until the launch of Season 2, right? You were quite often herbing and mining, unless you had a really good setup for it, was 5-10k an hour. Now, when your token is 300,000 gold plus, you're talking about like 20 plus hours of farming to get a single token's worth of gold, which once you have sold it and laundered it and cleaned that gold up again, is basically worth nothing to you from a bot perspective. Like I said, bots go where the money is, and there's no money in botting World of Warcraft retail right now. So they don't, right? But compare that to Classic, where you can just level a herb miner, you're instantly able to perform well. There's nowhere near as much of quality of life luxuries in Classic. Moreover, so many, you've got the micro economies in Classic, which you don't in retail anymore. Hence why all the bots are in Classic. The bots are over there because the bots can still do the things they've been doing for the last 20 years in a game that is absolutely 100% solved. And then you've got Season of Discovery, and then you've got Hardcore. 2 different game modes which run basically the client version, client realms, but have a greater demand for gold because there's, I imagine the value of selling gold on Hardcore is absolutely bonkers because it's so it's risky for people to farm it themselves. A lot of players, I would imagine, on Hardcore probably consider buying gold because if they were to go farm it themselves, there's the chance that they die and lose their character trying to get the gold. It's probably less risky for players on Classic to buy gold off a bot, so then they don't have to take any risk, but they get their gold. This is the problem you have with a Hardcore client, and hence why all of the bots are over there, because that's where all the money is. That's where all the RMT is happening. There's no risk to going out farming in retail. Plus, the meta for farming in retail is predominantly focused around 2x4 farming. 2x4 cloth and leather farming funds or supplies basically all of the base materials needed. There's no, like I said, there's no significant value in botting retail when you compare it to Classic. So also the players who only play on Season of Discovery or the Anniversary realms, they want to subscribe via the token. So they do these off-scene trades. Yeah, like I said, it's where the money is. Follow the money. And so Blizzard has probably seen a significant amount of this happening. It's probably created a significant amount of support tickets when it has gone wrong. And on that basis, they've just decided to, no, you're not allowed to do it anymore. Not happening. Much like GDKP. I bet if I guarantee if I read the comments on this and search for the words GDKP, it'll be flipping all over the place. Conversations like this always end up in GDKP arguments between players. But soon as they outlawed GDKP, and now they've decided to outlaw this, they are basically saying, you know, gamers stop doing gamer things. No clever use of game mechanics as a way to get the in-game currency. On these realms, if you want the currency, you need to earn it yourself. Or buy it from them legitimately. So... the moment you realise you did not make a note of any add-on in WoW. Okay, you've got all of... okay, this is something I forget that other people don't do. I have an entirely separate hard drive. My Windows install and everything else is on 2 separate hard drives. Or SSDs in today's world. All of my games and everything is on I have a single 2 terabyte SSD where everything is saved on. You can have a much smaller Windows SSD that runs your computer, and then it means when you need to reset or reinstall Windows, you don't have to then reinstall everything else. You went for the full impulsive reset. Fair play. Fair play. It's worth doing, though, if you start getting too many errors and issues. Just make Classic and Season of Discovery free to play. Problem solved. Oh, boy. If WoW ever went free to play, if you think the bot problem is bad now, you wait until you see the bot problem when it's free to play. Oh my god. The only reason the bots are even remotely under control these days is because there's an actual physical cost to rolling up new accounts. If there was no cost to rolling up new accounts, especially Classic these days, would just be an absolute clusterfuck of chaos. There's no, like, the worst thing Blizzard could actually do is make any of their versions of the game free to play. I mean, they could make it a very, very, very cheap, you know, they could make it like $2 a month or something. Some financial transaction needs to happen for each account on retail, otherwise the whole thing goes to shit. Free to play would be the worst thing ever. Let me grab a drink quickly. But then what's the worth of gold if it's free to play? The value of gold doesn't change in any way, shape or form. You got to remember, most people buy gold so they can buy the other shit in the game. It's not necessarily to then pay for game time. Being able to pay for game time with surplus gold is just a nice luxury. But it doesn't devalue gold in any way, shape or form. Gold is still very much needed and would only make the problem significant. Oh my god, 226 comments. I'm not going anywhere near those. I am not going anywhere near those. Not to mention this article has actually been updated 15 times by the looks of things, so all of the comments are going to be screaming about the stuff that's already changed, but... In a way, the value of gold probably would go up because so many people would be able to... If WoW went free to play, it would probably quadruple its player base overnight, which in turn would actually massively increase the value of gold, because the gold that exists would then get quickly spread out across all of those players. Fewer people actively trying to farm it in order to pay for game time. Yeah, true. Anyway, I thought that was worth sort of talking about a little bit today, since it's, you know, it is our neck of the woods at least. Right, I need to log back onto my main and see if there's anything I need to do for the rest of the week, or if we want to go on a new adventure or something. There's always plenty I can do on my alts for sure, but I need to just double check I've got, like, you know, I've done my delves, that sort of stuff. Excuse me. I mean, merging it in with Game Pass would be interesting. It'd be very interesting. I have no idea how they do it. I think one of the only reasons they haven't merged World of Warcraft with Game Pass is because they don't need to. They don't seem to have any problem with getting people to sign up to its own individual subscription, you know. If they wanted to quadruple the amount of players overnight, and if they wanted to move to console, then I would suspect we would see a Game Pass integration. But I think all of those sorts of things would happen quite quickly in one go. Yeah, I think all of that would happen quite quickly if that was going to be the case. Oh, I have already done my delves. We've done our 311s and we've done all our delves, and our seasonal journey is finished. Wow, we've already done most of that. That's quite cool. That realistically means I don't have too many particular tasks I need to do on my main character anymore, or even anything particular I want to do. This is a weird situation to be in. As soon as I stop farming for res and stop farming for Mechanica, I'm at that point now where I'm just kind of big chill. Big chill. I would usually, under this sort of circumstance, start looking at ATT or achievements and that sort of thing. What I do need to do, though, I want to at least go get this venture company rep, since that's still something we're proactively working on. Maybe we just do all of the world quests in the zone since they're up. Get those done. You can actually start playing the game now. I mean, I've already got 660 item level gear. I think I'm playing the game pretty well, by my standards at least.
Overflowing barrels of slime are all over the vat works. Empty them and let the slime run back into the river and complete the slime cycle.
The cycle of life. Kill the underpin, go for the mount. I've not even seen what he does. Like I said, that sort of stuff tends to not really appeal to me much. I could go try and defeat him normally. Whether we try and push for it at, like, on high difficulty mode, I'm not really sure if that's a me thing. It's content, potentially. But I'm not sure if I want to do it just for content, you know? Let's get some of this done and then we'll have a look. More slime barrels. There's one. This slime barrel quest is really frustrating because they don't move, so it's like you have to literally kill 8 individually. Is your PC shit in the pants or is it my internet? I have quality on source and it keeps getting all blurry. No, it's a me thing. It's a me thing. It's nothing to do your end. I'm accidentally broadcasting in 4K whilst Twitch not allowing me to up the bitrate. It's something I can't change until I actually turn the stream off and turn it on again. So I'll fix it hopefully for tomorrow. But yes, it does mean unfortunately the bitrate does go to shit a little bit.
As nature intended.
Think you got
Oh,
what
the
it
race
takes
is up
to
there.
race in the big leagues?
I thought I was going to have an excuse to buy a new PC. I mean, if you need an excuse, I can make one for you. I can tell you it's a you problem.
Well, well, well.
But no, it is definitely a me problem. Hopefully tomorrow there'll be a full 4K source version of the stream at higher bitrate, plus the usual 1080p stream as well. Because apparently Twitch seems to have realised that my hardware supports 4K now. But yeah, at lower bitrate, it is clearly going to look a bit poo-poo. I'm sorry.
To be honest, I'm surprised you made it back in one piece.
Yeah, my conclusion on this whole multi-box thing is that I am unlikely to probably do much of it on stream. Simply because it turns out to be far too much like hard work trying to configure everything so that it works smoothly on stream. And then when I have issues, it's hard to rectify issues whilst also streaming. Whilst the stream is live, I need shit to be stable and shit to work. That's priority number 1. I can mess around and do stupid stuff and push my PC to its limits when I'm not live and can quickly reset a computer if I need to. But I pretty much refuse to go to a 2 PC setup, even though I've got the kit to do it, just because it's fixes one problem by creating 4 more, in my opinion.
Real plants here in Undermine, but we got the next best thing.
Still settings for Mr.
So they
K.
shine nice and bright.
It's
Going to the dome used to be
it's a combination of trying to run. I need to find the sweet spot. This is the thing, and it's difficult to find the sweet spot without whilst also live. It requires me to test it, wait till it crashes, turn it down, turn it back. It's just more hassle than it's worth. Is the honest answer here. Currently trying to buy the 6-month WoW sub. Seems like I can't use Battle.net balance. No, you can't. You can't. It requires a credit card subscription for that.
What's the
It means if you want the free mounts that you get from the 6 and 12-month subs, you need to sub initially once, pay for it initially once. If you keep your account subscribed and you keep it rolling over with gold, so that the 6 months paid sub never actually expires, you can then technically continue that subscription indefinitely with only paying once. It's a bit of a loophole situation, but it does mean if at any point you fully deplete your subscription, you'll have to pay again to set it up again. So it's kind of a 6 of one, half a dozen of another. It's going to lock you in permanently, but you only have to pay the 6 months out of pocket once. There are some people that have been on that scenario for years at this point, but it also means during that entire time they have never once let their sub lapse. So it depends on how truly dedicated to the game you are. Weirdly, there is part of me that's tempted to actually just sub with real money these days anyway. Considering I've actually got the slight advantage, I can consider it a business expense.
Great job. Now they'll think twice before smuggling black blood.
But at the end of the day, I've also got plenty of gold that I absolutely don't care about paying for it for gold, because then it is just genuinely free. Why am I still in combat? What am I in combat with? And whatever I'm in combat with, can it hurry up and die? There we go. Is there a way to cheese the hole-in-one world quest, or do you just have to keep trying and praying? Well, it's not really cheese. You just got to remember that you can control where the ball goes now. So you can move the ball. How do we get up there? We have to go through Nitro, don't we? And as long as you point towards the hole, you're good. Life advice. Oh wait, this isn't the pet one. Or is this the pet one? Yeah. Back to the purveyor.
Interesting. See you around.
Yeah, just aim short and then just steer it in. Is the win. So is it next? Yeah, it's not this reset coming this week, but next week where we get the new patch. We get the fun 50-hour grind for the new event. Even 12 hours a day, that's 4 days of doing that. God. Might not bother. It's a nothing burger patch. I mean, it is, yeah. Yeah. And it's a mid-tier patch. Like, you should never expect anything particular from a mid-tier patch. The fact that they're delaying the heroic visions by 4 weeks is also mighty annoying. I'd much, you know, I'd much rather, I don't know, like, it's 50-50 for me, really, this whole thing. I like the fact that they're keeping to an 8-week patch cycle, so, like, every couple of months there's something new. But now, when there's a new patch, but then they time gate half of what you can do for 4 weeks within that patch in order to make it so that they release a patch every 2 months, but they drip feed you the content within that patch over 8 weeks is kind of like, oh, Jesus. I mean, people know my opinion on time gating in general, and I know it kind of makes sense, but I'd rather them just go to a monthly event kind of approach. It's all, oh, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's engagement bait, the whole thing. Massive engagement bait. I kind of liked the fact that they gave us new content every 8 weeks, but when they give us content, so that if we want to hammer it out and we want to blast it and we want to get that entire patch done in a month and then take a month chill, we should be able to do that. Now they're trying to make it so that you have reason to be subscribed and reason to play all the time again, which I know is in trend with MMOs in general, but I was kind of quite liking the fact that you can go ham and do the content and then there's a few weeks where it's chill. Now it's going to be that, you know, every 4 weeks there's something. Okay, this is the thing we do this month. Content creator wise, I should take full advantage of it. Mr. GM is probably rubbing his hands together because, you know, he's, you know, constantly new things to talk about, see, report on, you know. That perspective, it's really good. But I don't know. I think it drains my batteries too much, and I think a lot of players feel the same. One of the things I like about retail, and I like the regular patch cadence, which you can almost set your clock by, but then simultaneously, when they release something every couple of months, when they release that patch, you can go out and you can do as much of that as you want with a limited amount of time gating. And then you can take a little bit of time where you're not like permanently on the treadmill. I don't quite know how to more eloquently describe what I mean there, but I hope you get it. It's not just the time gating, it's the fact that it's indirect time gating, e.g. that you can only get X rep per week. Well, yeah, this patch, for example, these cartels, I think they'll learn their lesson, hopefully, with these cartels, that this is a step too far. Like, if you're going to put 5 new reputations in a new zone, but you're only going to allow players to chip away at like 1-2 of them a week, and then that is warbound. This is one of those scenarios where it would make a lot more sense for it to not be warbound, for it to be... This is one of those things that could and should be character bound. A character should be able to choose... A character should be able to choose the cartel that they're aligned with, and your ult should be able to align with other ones. The solution of... Yeah... For me, this is one of those scenarios where actually warband wide is a negative. But I don't know. Maybe it's because my playstyle is more aggressive than some others. I didn't really need to get in my car to go to that one, did I? Didn't realise it was next door. I guess the reality is you can't necessarily please everybody. They probably see that they have, and I've kind of thought this for a long time, that one of Blizzard's biggest problems is retention of players. They do an incredible job of selling expansions, but from that point on, they do a terrible job of retaining those players. And I imagine that all of the brand new players to the game, who are probably quite plentiful, but of course the silent majority, I would suspect, in terms of the fact that, you know, they're not the players that are particularly engaging with live streams or YouTube videos or Wowhead comments or the likes, or the forums or anything of this nature. They're the people that pick up the game when the expansion comes out, because it's flipping advertised everywhere, because marketing do marketing things. Those players are probably very quickly putting the game down again. I mean, I see it all the time. I see people saying that, like, oh, I played at the start of the expansion and now I'm coming back. That tells me they subbed for a month. They did whatever the hell they could do within that month, and then they put the game down again.
They just needed to chill their engines a bit. Thanks for your help.
Yes, I know the bitrate is scuffed. I'm very aware. The bitrate is ballsed up. I know why. I can't fix it without turning the stream off, though. It'll be addressed for tomorrow. I was going to have to not do much moving. Not do much moving. Oh, we've renowned with Councillor Dornogle, apparently. I don't know why it's telling me to go and pick that box up, but we'll take it. Yeah, the bit rate's going to be grim today, I'm sorry. Well, to fix a problem earlier in the stream, I had to turn off Twitch's enhanced broadcasting mode, which is what you need to have switched on to do 4K at high bitrate. But then I turned the stream back on and kind of forgot to change my canvas down to 1080p. So you're basically getting a 1080p bitrate, but on a 4K canvas, which is why it looks trash.
My directive is to serve you.
Yay, pet charms. Always need more pet charms. Keep the Paragon box for 11.2 after the season launch. Why? Oh, because of crests and stuff, maybe. Oh, I don't care about that much. Oh, and Radiant Echoes. Yeah. Maybe closer to the time. We'll have another one by then. Yeah, it's only 7,500 rep for each one of these. We'll have another one by then, probably. Okay. We're also renowned with the severed threads as well, apparently. Yeah, all my graphics are completely scuffed and everything today. Today's not gone as expected. Or as planned, at least.
You have questions. I know answers.
Yay! More pet charms. 2250 cash. That's quite a high amount from a single box. We take those. Did I even do... Oh, I never even bothered to do this week. Stone vault. Should we do a quick stone vault? Is the stone vault only a leveling dungeon? Alright, well, we'll help boost some people through a leveling dungeon. A flame in the dark. Need to turn this in. Don't know why we got this quest on hand, but I guess we'll go turn it in. Keep the quest log clean-ish, at least. You get good FPS out in the game zones when you turn all your settings down to nothing. Rarely see triple-digit FPS figures in WoW.
My memory spans 14 generations. Until we tangle again, you prove nothing.
Hello from Brazil. How we doing, Brazil? Hope you're having a good day.
My strand carries generations of memories.
There was one thing that I wanted to take a little bit of a look at as well, actually. And that is the...
We rise.
Oh, wait, hang on. Is that now that we're reasonably geared, I wonder what soloing even maybe Dragonflight raids is possible.
We remember all.
Oh, hang on, I meant to be doing this in a certain way. Whoops. I'm just clicking buttons hoping it works.
You tread a powerful skein.
Some kind of. Is it feasible now?
Your skein sings.
Oh, okay. Yoink.
What are you doing here? Go then.
What do you get for farming the rares? Well, the Undermine rares, it's all... Undermine rares is all Mechanica, predominantly, that you're after. Miscellaneous Mechanica. Was it Vault of the Incarnates the first one in Dragonflight? I can't remember the order. I remember Idrisil was the last one. Vault of the Incarnates. Yeah. Razageth. I'm sure some of this is probably soloable now, which would be fun. Interesting, interesting mog to get from here, maybe. Which I clearly need a lot of. Holy, even farming for that thing. Even farming for the illusion primal mastery. Didn't realise that thing was still worth stupid money.
Eldar have been asking to play with you again. I think they'd appreciate it if you visited them.
No way all the BOEs from this place are still worth this amount of money. No way. Unless they have some really interesting appearances. But they are mostly unique appearances, which is fun. Or some of them are. What's the most suitable profession for farming gold currently? I mean, herbalism and mining. The answer never changes.
So here we are. High Speaker Irish.
I need to remember these are real people.
He's fled from the Hall of Awakening into the Stone Vault.
Let's make sure I keep the keep my pet aggro off. Yeah, I guess it's just collector mog, isn't it, really? Might be worth investigating. It's very rarely in this game that I have reasonable gear on any of my characters. So there's often a relatively untapped market for those that have some gear and are willing to go and get things that might be valuable to others. They have some super cool looks. Maybe worth investigating in a bit more detail. I'm pretty sure 660 item level could pretty much go through. The only problem is if any bosses have like straight up insta-kill mechanics or something. Because Dragonflight raids are not going to have been tuned for soloing yet. I'm not even sure if Shadowlands stuff is considered legacy anymore, or yet, or is it? It should be by now, actually. Maybe that was an 11.1 thing. Is Shadowlands considered legacy now? It's meant to be 2 expansions back. I'm so proud of him this season. Look, gearing is one of those things that I don't really particularly chase. It was interesting to see how viable it is via delves this season. And so hence why I was willing to like put a bit of effort into it. I knew my appeal of delves would crash pretty quickly. So I'm kind of quite glad I got at least this dude geared up. But, like I said, I'm so infrequently geared in this game that I tend to miss those sort of top tier opportunities. I wondered what that was then. My dog's fast asleep under my desk, and I heard this knocking, and she's flapping her tail in her sleep.
Machine speakers in the stone vault.
I mean, additionally, there's nothing to say that we couldn't, you know, drag a few people through, see if we get some BOEs or something worthwhile. Not that I'm the biggest fan of, like, farming down or hunting for transmog, but if Dragonflight raid BOEs are still considered valuable because they now, in essence, don't exist, because who in their right mind is doing that raid legitimately? That it may not be a terrible idea. That's something different to do.
Here, we might as well use it.
Dare I say, it might be a pretty interesting use of my little multi-box setup, to be honest. Oh, somebody pulled anyway. Oh, am I doing this solo then, am I?
There he is. Look at him. Beyond saving.
Oh, well, yeah, damage meter. Ignore the damage meters. This is like a leveling dungeon. Half of these guys are probably not... Yeah, 76, 80, 75, 80. This is other people just doing the weekly. Right, we go in. Apparently we used Lust a few minutes ago. Didn't even realise. Guess we're not using it again. Guess it doesn't matter though. Destroyed. Okay, there's the weekly done. Wait, hang on. I definitely don't need this. Who else we got in here? Fire Mage. Oh, everybody's running away anyway.
The orphans of Merodar have been asking to play with you again. I think they'd appreciate it if you visited them.
I support our army with the finest blades. The shadows don't stand a chance against my blades. Imperial steel conquered a continent.
Alright, sure. Didn't even know that was a quest. Do I want to start investigating this now? Maybe it's a tomorrow job. What time is it? Yeah, maybe it's a tomorrow job. Right, boys and girls, we've had a few technical issues today. I think I'm going to take an hour or so off stream to try and smooth out some of these problems, which means I'm probably going to leave it there for today. Take it nice and slow, take it chill for Monday. We've got 1 week before we get the new 11.15 patch, which is going to bring with it the what's it called? Nighthold? No, it's not Nighthold, is it? Nightmare something? What the flipping hell is it called? What's the name of the flipping event? The Nightfall scenario stuff, cooldown manager, and the leveling. We've got a little bit of a week before that kicks off, so this week is kind of a little bit chill. On the basis of this last week being a little bit chill before we have some leveling and stuff, we might go and try a few different things outside of our normal routine. We'll see. But we got ages until Heroic Visions turn up again, so I'm reckoning that this Nightfall scenario can be something that can be pretty much banged out. This, for those who don't know, is another one of those traditional on the hour, every hour, do a thing that lasts 10 minutes and then twiddle your thumbs for 50 minutes. So we'll probably only do a couple of days of like shredding this to get most of it done nice and quickly. But realistically, we'll either be doing some leveling or just maybe not doing all that much. Heroic Visions, though, turning up in May is going to be fun. So, we got some choices. We got some directions we can go. But it does mean we can take it a bit more chill this week. Ew. What? Leveling? Ew. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there for today. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for sticking through some of the weirdness of the stream today. I will try my best to get these technical related issues out of the way. I think I'm pretty much of the opinion that any form of like the multi-box stuff, I'll just do it off stream now. Only takes me an hour or two maximum to do it. I'll do it in the evenings when I'm chilling doing something else. We'll stick to just what works for the stream. Come say hi on Discord if you're not already there. Thank you for all of the button presses. Thank you for sitting through the ads. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.